What's going on, moms and dads? Welcome to the latest episode of the Fade You podcast. This is our NFL Week 7 preview, and we are recording on Wednesday, October 18th, 2023, middle of October. What the hell happened with all the time? My name is Matt, joined by Chris Duke today and Kmart today. Ooh, who was that? That was
It's
well
Kmart,
done.
but it's not a beverage, really.
I
It's
love
just
it.
a LaCroix.
What are you drinking there, Kmart?
Just a LaCroix. I'm saving
A
my
LaCroix.
drinks for Saturday and Sunday this week.
So Kmart makes the most epic sound, this one. And it's a fucking LaCroix. What do you have to say for yourself?
I like sticks.
Unbelievable. We are off to a roaring start 1 minute into our NFL preview pod. Chris Duke is here too. Chris Duke, in fact, is modeling. I mean, what a sexy fucking model. Modeling our newest Fade You merch. So anyone watching on YouTube, which you can watch the show live on YouTube, by the way, is debuting the Fade You merch. Chris, salesman, sell the audience on our Fade You merch. Why do people need this?
It's good stuff, man. It's cool. Fade You. Everyone's going to see that big logo and say, what is that? And you're going to say, well, what do you want to bet today? And they tell you the Niners, and you say, I'm fading you, baby. Let's go. So got it in. Our contest winner got the free shirt. I ordered it for them. They just came today. I wanted to try them on. I'll ship them to them up there in NorCal this week, and we'll be doing more. Stay tuned for more contests. I want to do maybe a hat. Maybe when it gets colder in the winter, we'll do beanies or something. We'll find out. We'll go with the times, and we'll keep having some fun on Sunday, Monday night football games.
And what I'll do is I'll pin the link to the store on the Twitter profile. So people can follow us on Twitter at FadeU Sports. And then I'll do that right after we finish recording here. I'll pin tweet will be the link to the store where you can buy the merch. Chris, what can people buy?
Right now, we'll keep adding them. I think we did make like some hoodies, some pullovers. And then we did some pint glasses, so some beverages. We did shirts. I think did some tankies, some tank tops for the men and the ladies out there. And then we'll keep, or maybe not. Yeah, I know Joey Cheese was asking about male tanks. I think we have female tanks for now. I'll get on that too, and I'll keep making more stuff. So, but a good little baseline and hats, like I said. So,
yeah, Cheese actually texted me a couple weeks ago. Shout out Cheese. And he was like, hey, like, what can you get this added on there? And I had to text him back and say, sorry, man, that's all Chris Duke. I said, I don't have anything to do with that. Chris needed a project. So we gave it to him. And Chris, that's awesome, man, that you put that together and people can rep Fade You now. And we got to get golf balls. We got to get all kinds of stuff.
Ooh, that would be sick. Yeah.
That would be sick. So, all right. Well, it's good to have the dads here. No Joe. Joe's been traveling today. Joe was actually at the Sharks-Hurricanes game last night. And I only bring this up because Joe and I are fading the Sharks on the puck line in all 82 of their games this season. This is shaping up to be one of the most embarrassing seasons in the history of professional sports by any franchise. And Joe and I are Sharks fans, and we can confidently say that. So if anybody wants to jump on the Fade Sharks train with us, I know Joe, I think, is doing their team total under on his personal too, which would have lost last night, but it did hit in the first two. I mean, the scum-ass team only scored one goal in each of their first two games. So if you want to just bet against a horrible dumpster fire embarrassment of a team this season, then jump on the Fade Sharks on the puck line. They play Thursday against, I don't know who they play, but it doesn't matter because they'll probably get destroyed like Joe and all other 9 fans who were in the SAP Center last night got to witness in person. So anyway, speaking of fandom, I wanted to bring this up to you guys. So Chris has a lot of thoughts about fandom that are well known. and we have a lot of thoughts about fandom on this show. How do we feel about the Chargers fan from Monday Night Football who is being accused of being a fake fan planted by the NFL? Anybody have any thoughts about that? Have you guys followed this story a little bit?
Yeah, I've seen it, and I don't know. For me, like when I was actually watching it, the game on my phone, and she popped on again, and all I thought was, "What the fuck is this?" Like, I'm pretty crazy, like at games too, but like this, like,
No.
like what the like that was pretty. I thought she was having a seizure, like she was going through epileptic shock or something, like. And then somehow the next day she's on ESPN.
She's on McAfee the next day.
Yeah, like that to me was crazy. It's like, are you kidding me? But the fact she didn't sound like, I don't know, she was incapacitated in some way, I was kind of shocked by. Like she seemed like a pretty smart, like even educated person. So it was just really weird for those emotions. Like I would have figured she was like piss face drunk. Like it was just the most bizarre thing I've honestly ever seen at a game, and I've seen a lot of weird shit.
What do you think, Chris? I know you are a big fandom guy. So when you see this woman on Monday Night Football, are you now the conspiracy theorists have had a field day with this one? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fandom
It's
expert.
funny. She's on Pat McAfee right the next day, and then they're saying that they think a girl that looked just like her was cheering for another team. I don't know. I mean, she sure as hell, she's an actress, she did a great job. Her energy was hilarious. I also just feel bad for her. I know countless Charger fans that I've given shit for decades. And it's like, great, you can cheer all day, but your hopes, they're going to burst that fucking balloon of yours and it's going to pop and you're not going to like it because that's just how the Chargers and the Padres and God bless the city of San Diego. They just can't get any championships,
Oh man, we talked about
Joe
was on the Cowboys.
Maybe now that they're in LA, they'll change. But everyone hates Spanos, so
I don't know. We talked about that game last week. Joe was on the Cowboys and made a good case for him. That Monday night game was everything I could have hoped for in a Chargers Cowboys game. I think I tweeted about it. There were fourth down misses. There was a muff punt gaff. It was McCarthy and Staley trying to outduel each other and see who could fuck up the game worse. I mean, that was so. To me, I think the more that I've followed the gambling and everything over the years, I think chaotic NFL is peak NFL when it's that kind of crazy shit. Like, it's one thing to see a good game where teams are going back and forth, and I know the defensive battles are still epic. We love those. But that chaotic NFL with two incompetent head coaches who are going to make dumb decisions, to me, that's extremely entertaining. I absolutely loved it. Pour one out for the Charger fans.
Everything
like Chris
we
said.
thought it'd be, right? McCarthy with wonderful clock management yet again at the end of the half. And, so you got to love it. We hope these teams, I don't know if the Chargers really hope these teams get in the playoffs so we can
oh my God,
see what kind of blunders they pull.
God. All right. Let's get started with week 7. And Kmart, I actually want to start with you because you've tweeted out some fiery tweets about travel to and from London. And so I want to give you an opportunity to just open a can of whoop ass on this narrative, because I think it fits into a larger discussion about travel and what role that plays in handicapping. Because you have people like Warren Sharp, right, that build and talk about rest advantages.
That guy probably couldn't run 50 yards.
So yes, you did accuse people who believe in London travel of being, I think, fat and out of shape. So I just want to give you a chance to address the London travel narrative, because we don't have any international games this week, but we do have in a couple weeks back-to-back weeks of Germany. So just where do you stand on travel? Does it never matter? Is it just one thing that you have to consider?
I think it mattered. It's for me the jet lag. Like maybe high school kids maybe college, I'll buy into it a little bit. But when we're talking professionals, like people who take care of their bodies for a living, like I just don't buy the jet lag. Like it's pretty easy to not get jet lagged unless you're drinking a fifth of vodka on that flight. Like it, I don't know. And then we're talking a week later, and that's why I like the Ravens again last week, is because came out the Titans were going Thursday, so usually they're gonna kind of just be getting acclimated to everything the day of the game. So it's just gonna kind of set their rhythms off a little bit, but like jet lag, like not really. And I was kind of posting just to JJ Gruden because he made a trend. I think I was agreeing with him 100%, and he even mentioned to fade this narrative because it's 3-0 this week. And I just think the narrative is coming because when London first became a thing, it was actually profitable. But I think if we look at the teams that used to go to London, they weren't very good teams. Like the Niners and Jaguars used to play in London when the Niners were not very good. Like it was one of their 3 wins going out there. So I think people need to kind of look at who actually was losing coming back, rather than just, oh, look, overall, if we faded, it's 60%. There's blindly, as Joe's kind of becoming more vocal too, is you can find any bullshit trends to back up anything you want. At the end of the day, we're not smarter than the books. We're not, not even the books. We're not smarter than the computers that make the line. So yeah, for me, I just don't go with jet lag. Like it's, I don't know. I traveled more than I care to in the past 5 months, and apart. God, Chris, what was that day in Boston? Like we were fine on 2 hours of sleep, if that. Like it was a little rough getting up and going, but shit. The only thing that bothered me was the wind and rain playing golf, more not being tired.
So what if someone says, well, the Bills came back from London and looked like dog shit and almost lost as 15-point favorites to the Giants? Again,
well, injuries though.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's just more to it than that.
Yeah, I think there's just more to it. Like you can base it off that, but everybody was down on them for the past 2 weeks because of injuries, and then it's finally kind of slowly building up onto them. But I think it's just more of that. They're losing guys on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, fuck you, Buffalo. I wanted Jared to come on tonight and defend his Bills for looking like trash the last 2 weeks. Yeah, that was really fun to be on Bills minus 15 on Sunday night. That was, especially after being 1-3 on the day so far. Like, all right, we have the Bills against Tyrod Taylor. Like that's fine. They get the ball first grade. They'll go score, and then they just fuck around for 3 quarters and really should not have won the game. You got to give the Giants a little bit of credit. And I think one thing I didn't consider too, and we can kind of talk about backup QBs because that's going to be a theme this week too, is that like sometimes it's not worse to have a different guy in there. With Daniel Jones, that dude was under pressure for like 4 straight weeks and could not complete a pass longer than like 3 yards. And so to yank him out of there and put in a guy who hasn't been feeling that pressure behind that injury-ravaged offensive line, Tyrod Taylor actually completed some nice downfield throws, back shoulder. Like they actually looked like a functional offense at times where they hadn't in the past. And that's something I wish I would have considered. So why does that matter this week? You got some guy no one's ever heard of playing QB for the Bears. You might have PJ Walker again for the Browns. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. I don't know if, Kyle, how shocked are you that Jimmy G's been hurt twice in the first month and a half of the season?
Sad. But no, like not shocked at all. Like just I was actually more shocked that he started the season.
Yeah.
Like honestly, from the stuff we were hearing, but
the foot surgery and all that.
Yeah. I'm definitely glad the Niners are done with it. I loved them. Like I can't lie. Like I did love them, but I'm glad they've moved away.
Supposedly has a beautiful cock.
Wow.
That's what they say, Jimmy G. So
hey,
I don't know, man. But yeah, Jimmy. Raiders Bears this week. Chris, please tell me you want to bet on this game. Raiders Bears.
Bears.
Yes? Are you nodding yes? You are? All right, well, let's start with that. Is that one you were going to talk about, or do you just have a lean on that?
I mean, I'm gonna suggest it. I don't know if it's in my initial 5. I know Riley and I have already been talking and texting about it. He likes some pretty ugly dogs as well. I know he included Giants, Broncos, and Patriots. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see if it gets there. I like it. I just think that now that quarterback, I mean, he had some fluky plays, that fumble, and now that he gets another week in that system and he has a decent amount of weapons, and I mean, look who the Raiders got a week win over the Packers and a week win over the Patriots and a lucky cover. Now they got it's one thing laying 3 at home to the Patriots. Now you got to go lay 3 on the road. It's not something I would. I'm obviously it's Bears or nothing here, but I understand that people are like, this is a game they do not want to touch. But you know what? Poopy, disgusting plays are why Vegas every year it's their best sport because nobody wants to touch them. They'll put the Raiders in a fucking money line parlay instead because they can't lose to the god awful Bears, and we all know dogs just like the Jets last week. Ugly dogs make the world go round, baby.
So you're kind of just saying like there's no universe where the Raiders should be 3-point road favorites.
With Hoyer, what did Hoyer do? Make one epic fucking throw last week? I mean, I get it. He didn't turn it over, didn't do any stupid shit, but really just dink and doink. And I mean, I know no Jefferson, but that Bears defense held the Vikings to nothing besides, I mean, what did they score? Like 17 and 7 of them were a fumble 6. So I don't know. Hopefully they're playing a little better. A little more elements. Raiders did both those wins in the Dome in Vegas. Now you got to go to windy Chicago. I heard there's going to be some elements. Just think, I like those teams like the Browns and the Steelers when they're home dogs just kind of ugly up the game.
Who's the Bears QB?
Badgett, yeah. What is he? A Division II? Nobody even knows.
Shepherd College.
I was gonna say I've never heard of him.
We're in dynasty leagues, Kyle, and I've never heard of him.
No.
Badgett. Is it Tyler? Is it Tyson?
Is it Tyler? I think it's Tyler.
I just saw somebody call him Teabag on Twitter today, which is
Teabag.
But I mean, shit, dude. Maybe he's decent. That's the thing. Is that these guys are unknowns. It's easy to say like, oh, backup QB from a college I've never heard. What's Ed's college, Chris? What the fuck university over here does he work at?
Platt.
Platt. Yeah, I don't care if he went to Shepherd College or Platt College. Maybe he gets in there and he's decent, like with a week of practice. I mean, you can't. Brock Purdy is literally an example of you just never know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's last pick of the draft. This dude's a 7th rounder. I know different situations and different circumstances, but why the hell not? Kmart, you touching that game?
I mean, I definitely lean the Bears. Both are going to have backup QBs. It's in Chicago. The points I'm looking at, small lean on the Bears. I probably won't get there, but if I had to play a side, it would be that. Who knows? Maybe I'll tease the Bears up. I don't know. I'm done with teasing. After the last 2 weeks.
If it goes to 2.5, you can do it,
Yeah.
Kmart, the teaser's been bad.
Yeah, man. And it's been the Niners both weeks that have screwed me. First, I'm like, no way they blow out Dallas. Tease that thing up to 14, and then no way they lose. Tease it down to pick. My other picks win. It was just more of like I wasn't gonna lay it. Like I didn't really want to bet them, but I wanted to have action on them. So I do the teaser, and it just, yeah. And then I ended up chasing the teaser losses and turned Sunday night into a blood.
You didn't tease Chargers up for an easy teaser leg?
No, not on Monday, dude. Our book doesn't allow, like, it doesn't give out every line. Like I was looking at stuff, but the options I would have wanted, I didn't get. So I just stayed away from forcing something stupid.
Well, shoot,
Yeah.
back to the Bears-Raider game last thing. Even if Jimmy G does start, there's a halfway decent chance he gets knocked out of that game too. So, I mean, fuck. All right, Kmart, let's get you in here with something that you're looking now. You've been really liking the Jets, and the Jets have cashed for several weeks in a row, but the Jets are on bye this week. So, what are you looking at?
There's another team I've been on a lot, and they're playing, and I still feel like they haven't put together a full 4 quarters worth of football. So I'm looking at those Ravens again. I just feel like it's going to become popular, like the same narrative. Oh, Lions are injured. They got Craig Reynolds, blah, 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 missing some pieces defensively. I just feel like it could be one of those. I mean, how many times in the contest have we picked shit like this and just lose?
Yeah.
I mean, but a lot of guys who were on the Bucks last week, they handled that. So I mean, at some point they're gonna look pedestrian again. They do have a lot of injuries. Laporta is still kind of questionable with his calf, I think. So they're probably not going to push him that much. Gibbs with his hammy. So I mean, they have 2 honestly stud rookies that just can't really play for them. So yeah, I mean, if the Ravens can just figure out the red zone or the
that's a big if.
Go,
Fuck.
if they can, like if they can figure that out, like I like them. It's just it's a short 3. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm just seeing if there's other injury news I don't know about, mainly on the Ravens side.
I mean, hey, Chris, you and I were on the Bucks last week in the contest, and that was extremely popular in the contest and crash and burn. And I'm looking at this right now. The Lions have won 4 straight by 14 or more. They're on a ridiculous run right now. Falcons 20-6, Packers 34-20, Panthers 42-24, Bucks 20-6. 4 straight double-digit wins, all by 2 touchdowns or more. That's insane. I mean, Kmart, is it just kind of at the point where it's like, fuck, I bet against them last week, I lost. I've got to just go back to that same line of thinking. Like you even pointed it out, it's a long ass season. At some point, everybody stumbles a little bit, and just look at the Niners on Sunday is a great example.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, obviously with weather and injuries in game, like things can switch and make things way different than they should have been. Bad PI bad calls when a guy clearly fumbles the ball and it's called an incomplete pass.
Oh my God. Horrible.
Horrible. That's what you sign up for when you bet on literally the worst product. It might be worse than the NBA. I don't know. We'll find out. Probably not as long as LeBron's playing, but after that, we'll be close. 1 week to basketball season, I had to make the dig. But no, like man. I mean, I think it's just everything's going to come together. Like you said, Lions have won 4 in a row by double digits. Now they're getting 3 against a team that hasn't particularly looked that impressive. So it looks like a good spot for them to stumble. I think the Ravens are a lot better than they are getting credit for. Even today, it seemed, Lamar Jackson, probably the most overrated quarterback. I mean, he's always been overrated, but he's still probably top 10 talent at the position just because of what he can do and extend plays. He's a running back there. Just like Deebo Samuel, he can't run routes, but he's a running back.
Yeah, according to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, man, that guy's talking a lot. Isn't he hurt? Talking a lot of shit for.
Yeah,
I mean, I love it. I love the shit talk. I say all the time we need more shit talk, and so it just makes it so much more entertaining. And sometimes you get fined $13,000 like Kittle, and it's no big deal. It must be nice.
He wasn't Chris, even shit talking. It was just because he had a shirt that said "fuck Dallas," and I need to find that shirt, man. I've looked and I can't find it. Like,
there's got to be a Niners. There's got to be somebody that's that can make that.
It's probably on that like girly website.
I'll make it. I'll add it to a.
Chris will get it up on the shop. Yeah. Chris, where do you come in on Lions Ravens? I mean, Kmart makes some good points. Are you forced to just double down and bet against the Lions again if you thought fading them was the correct move last week?
Yeah, I mean, I've got them right once. I know we were on the Seahawks. It played perfectly. I said I hope the Seahawks lose at home to the Rams, and I hope the Lions win on Monday, Thursday night against the Chiefs. That happened. We immediately faded them. Seahawks went in, won outright. So that was their one hiccup, and now they look like NFC champ now, right? But like you said, who have they really played? The Falcons, the Panthers.
That's a
Come
good
on.
point. Yeah,
And,
I mean they have played. It's Giants, or wait, no, that was Dolphins. Who the hell?
Packers.
Yeah, I mean Falcons, Packers, and Bucks are whatever.
I guess we don't
They're
know that.
middle of the league, and the Panthers are scum. So they have not played anyone good since they played KC in Seattle.
Right, and I mean, you got to think the Ravens, like Kyle said. I mean, people don't care about the drops. A couple weeks later, they just look, oh my God, they lost to the Steelers, and they didn't look very well against the Titans, who are not that great either. Got lucky against the Chargers to win, and dude, I lean that way, and it seems like Lions are going to be the trendy dog, along with the Jags, since the Jags have been raping people too, and the Saints look like shit against the Texans last week. And so on Thursday night, it seems like those are the teams that are catching a couple points that, they're quote unquote the better team with the better record catching points. So lean Saints and Ravens for sure.
All right, Chris, why don't we throw it back to you? So we talked about Bears a little bit. Kmart just touched on Ravens. You said in our group chat, this is potentially an epic. What did you say? An epic week for poop. Looking through the messages from earlier.
So much scum. Yeah, there's a lot of scum. But I kind of want to go to a non-scum game that I really like, and I think we're going to put it in because Riley and I are in agreement. We're going to go with I think we're going to have Eagles in there, man. Especially if it's under 3, and the concept I know is 1.5, 2, 2.5. I think this is another. I guess I forgot about this one being a little bit of a trendy dog. I mean, Dolphins are, all the talk. Best offense since Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk 20 years ago, stuff like that. And Eagles threw out a dud. I mean, you got to throw that out. I know Hurts has made mistakes this year. He threw a couple picks against the Bucks too, but Dolphins D is nowhere near the Jets D, and we know that he's not going to be throwing those picks again. And that D line, hopefully they get Carter back, and I think they're getting a couple defensive guys on back that's going to help control. They're not going to get Tyreek running free like he is against these shitty defenses like the Giants and Panthers they've been playing. So I'm going to go with Eagles. I think that it's going to be enticing, especially on Sunday night. Probably every teaser, right? Tease it up through the 3, through the 7. They're not going to lose, right? Fuck that. Giants by 10 plus. I mean, Eagles by 10 plus, baby. Let's go.
Mr. Cheese, good to see you.
I'm glad this one was brought up because I think it's a really interesting matchup. Yeah, Chris, I think it's good that you pointed out like the Dolphins did just get to play back-to-back home games, and it was the Giants and the Panthers. Like, holy shit. And then not only that, but they've also played the Broncos this season, and they've also played the Patriots this season. So they've pretty much played 4 of probably the 6 or 7 worst teams in the league. And the other good team they played, they got obliterated at Buffalo. So they're now playing one of the top teams in the league again. This is on the road. Kmart, you said you were going to bring it up. Did you want to add anything else to what Chris said?
You probably said it. I mean, that's a game. That's the second game I'm looking at. Pretty much for what he said. Dolphins have had probably an easier schedule, so they look really, really good. Weird line -2. I was actually happy he brought it up because I was second guessing myself on this. Like, am I on the right side here? Am I seeing this right? But yeah, like, I don't know. It is weird because, Eagles less than a field goal at home, like, kind of seems easy, but I think he's right. Everyone's going to look at the Dolphins, who just have been smashing. The Eagles just had the disappointing loss after being up 14-3. Super weird second half. Like, I kind of wasn't really watching the games went to the pool, came back, was like, oh, 14-10, oh, we got a game. Oh, another, oh, what? Like, it's just another one. That was another teaser I lost. I had Eagles and Rams in the 1 o'clock games just to have action. Like,
wow.
Yeah, so it was silly, but no, I like the Eagles to bounce back here. I mean, defensively, they're not what they were last year. Their secondary is definitely their weak spot, but I think their coaching can schematically at least slow down Tyreek Hill. I almost called him Hall for some reason. But it's that front four and really front seven that they can do. Bring pressure with the four, have their timely blitzes. I mean, that team is still very strong up front, which I think is going to pose problems for Tua. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets knocked out of the game.
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet. Armstead is obviously out for Miami. He's missed some time. I think the replacement left tackle missed practice today. Their center missed practice today. So I agree with you. I think up front, this is going to be a totally different test for Miami.
Your brother's going to allow you to play the Eagles in there? They're going to be like,
no, literally,
Dolphins, man.
I swear to God, we talked Monday night, and he's like, my brother, who's a Dolphins fan, he's like, it's not like we can't pick against Miami. Like, I get it. I'm going to be rooting for them as a fan, but I get the thinking that this is a bad spot for them going on the road Sunday Night Football against a team like this. And don't get me wrong, I think Miami's really fucking good.
Yeah, no, I
know
too.
that they're blowing out bad teams. I think they're a really good team. I think at this point, given what's happened to Buffalo, I would be surprised if Miami doesn't win the division. I think they're right there with some of these other teams that are going to be vying for division wins and top seeds. And I think they're really good, but I think this is a tough ask for them, given who they've been playing and given where they're at with their injuries. And I just think Philly can out-physical them.
Yeah. And Hurts is as a gangster at home. I don't know if he's ever even lost at home. Especially off this performance, he's probably going to be super pissed. But yeah.
Yeah, I
can't
think
wait
Hurts
for all the fourth and short tush pushes.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I like that one. I'm a little suspicious that you haven't brought any other poop up yet. We'll see if we can arrive at any poop. Kmart, I know you said before we started recording, there were a couple you weren't really sure on. You want to throw one out there and see if we can talk through it a little bit?
Yeah, Packers -1. That's probably a side I would play. I just don't think the Broncos are that good. But there's so many question marks on Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. Like, it's probably a game I need to avoid, but for whatever reason, that gut of mine is like, oh, Packers here. I do feel Jordan Love is a little bit better. He's had 3 games, 57%, some bullshit like that. But they do have, I think their defense is better than Denver's, and offensively, I mean, they still have a lot of running backs and skill position players if they can just give him time, which doesn't really seem like Denver is getting much pressure, and they seem like they're starting to ship people out. There's talks of other players, following Randy Gregory.
Frank Clark too. So they got rid of Gregory. They got rid of Frank Clark.
Oh, Clark is gone now.
He visited the Chiefs today.
Jesus, welcome home. Just like Hardman, they're just bringing back all their has-beens. But yeah, like, I want to play them. It just seems like such a coin flip. Like, I'm really trying not to keep forcing stuff like these teasers, because I think I'm literally gonna blow my brains out if I do it one more week in a row. Like.
All right. Well, so everybody he's at _Kmart9 at him on Sunday and just say, like, buddy, you didn't do any teasers today, right? Like, I'm worried about your well-being. I mean, I'll see you on Sunday. So
everybody DM him your lock teaser so he can.
Dude, I've unfollowed so many accounts, like, because I am tired of like seeing something and then I don't do it right then and there. But then, Sunday when you're just like, no, I want a little more action. It's like in the back of your head, you're like, and then you think it's your thought, but it's not. So like I'm just trying to get rid of that shit.
That is an interesting game to me that feels like it could go either way. I think this is a weird one because Green Bay's off their bye and Denver's off the mini bye. So like they both needed that to try to get their shit together. And I don't know who's able to do it. I don't know. I don't have faith in really either situation. So that's a tough one. I mean, yeah, it feels coin flippy. If your gut's telling you one and go with it and it's a winner, then great. But that's a tough one. Chris, do you want to talk about? Do you have any poop you want to talk about, or do you want to talk about Chargers Chiefs?
I mean, we might. I mean, if this is the biggest poop of the week, Patriots 8-9 point dogs. I mean,
Gotta be.
It wasn't good last week. The division dogs historically, they're good. I think they're close to 56% in road division dogs, which we're going to get into here, like Matt just mentioned, is like 60 games over 500 the last decade. So that's our sweet spot. But yeah, I mean, could the one that scares me, if the Bills blew out the Giants, then it's an automatic play on the Patriots this week. But the Patriots losing in the disgusting fashion with that safety, everyone's going to remember that dog shit. And I mean, let's be honest, the Bills still won. You know, they didn't lose. They won. They didn't cover. But I think this is going to be gross. I mean, it's 8.5. Take your teasers through the 7, through the 3. All they got to win by is a field goal. It's gross. I don't know if it'll get in, but I definitely looking at it, it's a large number. Patriots played Miami tough at home. They lose by 7. So if that spread was higher, they would have covered it. They're kind of in these games. They're not winning, but the only one they got blown out was Cowboys, right? I don't know. So we'll see if we get that. I know Mac is horrific, but
this is hold your nose, close your eyes, say an Our Father, say a Hail Mary just for the hell of it. Chris is going to skip church to come watch football with us on Sunday. I told him we'd say a prayer for poop since he can't go to church for
just go Saturday night, right?
That's what I told him.
Yeah.
I've been telling him that for a while now.
But then I got to miss Pac-12 after dark. I'm just kidding, but it's all good.
Would you rather miss the shitty Pac-12 or all those beautiful 10 a.m. games?
I got to watch Utah fuck up USC this week, baby. No, I might be on SC. System play.
Oh, wow. All right, Pats. I think Mac Jones is like 20% ATS as an underdog. And I think it's like 13 in a row that he hasn't covered after that debacle last week. Where is it, Chris? I mean, it cannot get any more disgusting than this.
But you know what's funny is the Patriots actually covered a game earlier in the season when Zach Wilson got sacked for his safety.
That's true. That's funny.
They did. I thought they lost. Oh, they won it by 5 instead of 3. That's
funny. Or 4 instead of. But yeah, I can't remember the exact. But yeah, I think I had the Jets like plus 3.5 or whatever, and I'm covering by the nose on my or the hair on my nose, and then I just see, oh, beautiful.
Yeah, the Pats. That is gonna be gross. And you're right, Chris. Like they have been in games. It's just if you told me that Mac could just do what Tyrod Taylor did and just not turn it over, don't turn the ball over, don't give them a 30-yard field. Like, I don't know with the Bills' offensive situation right now if they're going to consistently put together 80-yard scoring drives. Mm-hmm. They clearly have some issues. We've seen it for 2 weeks in a row now. But I can't try. Like Mac, I mean, the pick 6 he threw in Vegas last week was so horrific. God damn. They're bad. They're bad right now. It's one thing to be bad, but it's another thing to be just like throwing pick 6s every week and being like that bad where you just can't even stay competitive in a game because you're turning the ball over several times. Brutal. Let's talk Chiefs Chargers and probably wrap it up with that. I know Chris and I texted about this one a little bit earlier. Kmart, do you have any thoughts on Chiefs Chargers and our number one Chargers fan going to KC?
God, man, like I mean, I think I have to side with Chris that the Chargers, poopy, like 5.5, five's a dead number. I mean, it's not 100% though. Like this shit I see, like if I were to play this, I probably would lay it with the Chiefs. Like, cause it's another one of those things. They just haven't been that impressive. All I hear, on some of the podcasts I listen to when I go on runs, with these experts, I think it was even like Fezzik earlier today. Maybe it was Lombardi. I can't remember, but and similar to what you guys said, Chargers are just, all these games are coming down to the last possession. At some point, it's just not. They're just going to get waxed, or they're gonna beat the Chiefs outright. I just don't think they're gonna beat the Chiefs outright. They seem to have issues. Like Eckler ran for 3 yards per carry, if that, last week, and I know he's just coming back, but I mean, I thought they could have done a lot more offensively against the Cowboys secondary. After seeing what we saw on Sunday night with the Niners, like they were just getting gashed, and I really thought this game was going to be more high scoring. And then obviously Mike Williams is out. Quentin Johnson doesn't look like he's really understanding things very well right now. I understand he's a rookie, but so is Jordan Addison, and he looks like he's a 10-year vet. So, I mean, I think they got issues on their offensive side of the ball, and their defense is trash. Like, you can't argue that. Their defense is not good, and at some point, Mahomes is going to have a Mahomes game. They're not going to be just dinking and dunking, doing running back screens, tight end screens. They're going to be getting chunk plays, and it's probably going to happen against the Chargers.
Well, Chris, I'm sure you're going to take all that and say, good. All the more reason to take the Chargers, because I know you want to take those San Diego Superchargers.
Yeah, I don't know. It does scare me because, like he said, the Chiefs have been playing down their competition. They didn't look good at all against Denver. But yeah, I mean, you got to go with, I think I heard today that the Chargers haven't lost by more than 7 since like December of a year ago. It's like 3-2, 7-3, 6-4. And they always, like, it is the narrative, Kmart. Yeah, they play these Chiefs team that comes down to a field goal. So, but I text Madison, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, you're going to give me 5.5. And like you said, this is what the Chargers do, right? They'll lose. They play the Bears in a week or two. They lose to the Bears and they'll fucking beat the Chiefs. Like, this is the Chargers we've seen over the last decade. They just step up when they're not supposed to, and they play down. And that defense looked pretty darn good against you can't argue that holding the Cowboys to 14, 17 points. And that was because of that weird missed tackle against Pollard. I don't know how he broke that that guy had him wrapped up, but let him get loose. But we'll see. I like to think like Matt does, like every parlay, every teaser, tease the Chiefs down. All they got to do is win. Moneyline parlay. It kind of, they're not going to need them as much as they needed the Browns last week, but they'll probably really like a Chargers win in that afternoon slot, which the Dogs have been getting fucking annihilated. Even last week, fucking Rams raid. Thank fuck for the Jets pulling their hogs out, because those afternoon faves.
Bucks, yeah.
Raiders with the safety get the cover. Unbelievable.
What about if Taylor Swift is there in Kansas City? Does that change your opinion at all?
Yeah. He's going to be super, super distracted, and he's going to let Staley just fucking pick him apart. He's not going to get any yards. He's not going to have 120 yards like he did last week.
It's the only issue I have about doing the Chargers is because then I got to be on Staley. Motherfuck. And I just know he's going to do something on 4th down. I'm going to be like, why am I on this team? That's just
like what was it, 2 years ago? We had a +5.5, I think, same line. It goes. The Chargers are winning the entire game. Goes to OT. They lose by 6. Thanks.
Yep, I remember that because I looked at the past. I think the last 2 games, both games last season, actually were 3. It landed on 3 field goal games, and then the one before that was Chiefs by 6 in overtime. Classic. That's the whole Chargers experience. We saw it from from that fan on Monday Night Football. We'll come full circle and end with that. So, all right, good show, guys. Got to a lot of the games. We got to the Sunday night game. When do you get to Monday night? Kmart, do you think the Niners against a much different defense this week get right, win comfortably by 10?
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, because like I just don't think they're gonna force CMC, Debo, and Trent Williams out there. Like 1, 2, if not all 3 of them will probably take the game off. So like I don't know. I mean, you're going to give me 7 points in Minnesota. I don't care about primetime Kirk. He's top 10 quarterback in the league. He just hasn't always had the talent around him to go through it. But I got to find out more. Like if Debo plays and CMC, yeah, maybe. CMC and Williams, yeah, I'd probably lean Niners. But without really knowing where these 3 guys are, if they're going to play, I mean, I know they said it's not serious, but do you want to risk a serious injury and force them out on Monday night, or just say, hey guys, I think we can win this without them. Let's make sure you're good to go. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So I don't know. I like right now. I lean the Vikings.
Chris, you're muted, but if McCaffrey plays, what percentage of bets do you think will be on him to score a touchdown and set the record?
Is it going to be the highest line ever? I mean, is it going to get to 300 soon? Minus 350. That's unbelievable.
That's going to be one of those that like BetMGM tweets out. 99% of bets are on McCaffrey to score a touchdown.
I haven't done no yet. I kind of want to now. I've dodged the bullet fucking 4 weeks in a row or whatever.
Jesus. Insane. All right, good job, dads. Chris, let's get out of here with this. Remind everybody what happens sometimes when you bet on poop.
Sam Houston State, 0-5. Why are they favored? They're down 10-7. We'll see if the winless Bearcats can do it.